TG Geeks, episode 155, February 5th, 2018. Aliens aboard! Wherever we're going. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, it's still summer, Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from TG Squared Studios at I am here to sabotage every single property if I don't like the fact that people hated my stuff, Phoenix, Arizona, and we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that. And we have a really interesting interview this time. A returning interviewee.
Yeah, I think she holds the record.
Yeah. So it's Gini Koch, and it's about talking about her new book, so we're just going to get right to it. And this time we have a returning guest. We have Ms. Gini Koch, author and pop culture maven. Welcome to the show again, Gini.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here again.
Yeah, this is like
This
number
is
5?
This
or?
is 4.
4.
Yeah, the first
Only
time.
4? It feels like more, in the good ways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely in the good ways. And I was kind of disappointed that it was only 4. Oh, my gosh.
Like 4?
I
We've
wished
only
it had
talked to her 4 times?
Well, she was
We've
in the
talked to
studio.
her. We've talked to you a million times.
Oh, well, yeah, and maybe that's why it's so confusing. I mean, first time was on phone, the second and third time was in studio, and then the fourth time here. But I'm pretty sure maybe some people who are not local to Arizona are probably wondering, well, why is she not in studio? Because those were drinking shows, and they were outrageous. So,
and I miss it. I miss it so
believe
much.
me, we missed it too.
Tell us what has happened in your life, and then we'll talk about your new book that you have coming out.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, well, 2017, really starting at the end of 2016, but 2017 was an extremely tumultuous year, and we were required to move across the country, so we've left Hell's Orientation area, a.k.a. Phoenix, for Hotlanta, a.k.a. Atlanta, Georgia. And we got here, and we weren't here a week in Atlanta. We got 6 inches of snow.
Oh, my
and everybody's trying to tell us it's unusual. But my literary agent also lives about an hour away from us. She moved down a few years ago. She goes, don't believe them. Everybody tells me it's unusual. It's snowed here every year we've been here. So
Lovely.
Yes.
Oh dear.
But it is a very pretty city, and the people are very nice. It's just it's hard to leave everybody and not be seeing everyone and everything else. So, but we are excited. We're exploring the town and getting the house all set up, which was I ended up hiring people to help me, which is the only reason I'm not surrounded by boxes while I'm talking to you. So the house is looking pretty good. So I'm happy with that.
Cool.
And, yeah. So, but moving is we had all the big stressors going on this last year. So it's been a tough year, and it was definitely lots of punches, some of which we didn't roll with as well as others. But we're here, we're doing okay, and squeaking out the words.
Yeah, so that actually caused a delay in your book release. You normally do December 1st, and what is it, December and April? Or April?
No, I used to be, it's the first couple of years it was April, December, and then we moved me to May, December, which was a lot easier. And then because of the move, while I was still in the Southwest, it was really important to me to keep May and December as release dates because of Phoenix Comic Con and Mysterious Galaxy Bookstore in San Diego. And because they did a holiday party in December that I was always a part of. But moving, I can't get back for those events. So it actually was more important for me to move to a schedule that was going to work better for East Coast, and that is February, August. So that's what we're going with now.
Okay,
so that's in time for Dragon Con.
Yeah, August for the Dragon Con, but what's the February release for?
Just for the heck of it.
No, it's just 6 months away. Having done 5 and 7 the first 2 years, it was really hard. The one book has to be done faster than the other book, and it just, not that I've been on time, because I was really because of all the things going on, I was hideously late with Aliens Abroad. So we had to move it back from December no matter what, and the Penguin Random House and DAW were trying to kill themselves to get it out in January. I'm like, look, I don't even want January. Let's do February, because we're doing August. That puts us right where we need to be, and that'll be our thing, and we agreed with that. So,
cool.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it's hard for fans. I mean, it made 2017 is the only year I didn't have 2 releases in the Alien series, but I needed it. So
yeah, you needed time to get situated and finish it up. And
well, that's the one thing that I think a lot of people, we need to remind people that, authors are people. They have lives. They really do. I mean, we don't think about that. We simply think about what they're producing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So.
So Aliens Abroad. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's just true of all artists, really. It's like, why haven't you given me my next thing? And it's like, well, things happen. Life happens, and some of the life happenings you roll with better than others, and sometimes life just wants to rain it down on you, and you have to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Aliens Abroad is actually releasing tomorrow, on February the 6th. And so tell us, this is the continuation of the Katherine Kitty Katt Martini Adventures. Yeah.
So before going further, for anybody who is unfamiliar, could you give us just a tiny bit, tiny, really brief Reader's Digest version as to who she is and where we are up to this point prior to Aliens Abroad, if we have 3 hours?
Actually, put it in about 3 minutes.
Okay, well, basically, for those who don't know, Touched by an Alien is the first book in the series, and that's really where I recommend people start, because the series builds on itself. And in Touched by an Alien, Kitty, who's just a regular gal, discovers that the Roswell rumors are true, but with a twist. The aliens are here to help us, and as a side benefit, they're all gorgeous. The women, who she nicknames the Dazzlers, are sapiosexual, so they only like brains and brain capacity. So to them, the hottest person on the planet is Stephen Hawking. And and the men are tired of their own women telling them they're stupid. They really just want, smart, gutsy. And they feel humans have more. The Dazzlers feel that humans have more brains and brain capacity than their own men. Kitty doesn't necessarily agree, but it works in her benefit. And she gets involved in the fight to protect the planet from things that are both very internal and very external threats, and she ends up saving the day with her knowledge of pop culture, comics, hairspray, and rock and roll.
There you go.
I still laugh at all that.
And the reason it's her name is Katherine, and she's been called Kitty, and her last name was
Katt, K-A-T-T.
There you go. So she was. This is the Kitty Katt series.
Yes, it is. So,
and what did Kitty Katt have to say about her name?
When she's first introducing herself to the first set of aliens she's met, she's like, "My name is Katherine Katt, K-A-T-T, and yes, my parents call me Kitty." And when I wrote that, I literally stopped writing, turned away from the computer, and went, "Kitty Katt? Seriously, Kitty Katt?" And in my head, Kitty said, "Yes, my parents have a sense of humor. Keep writing."
I'm glad you brought that up. So for anybody who's listening to you being interviewed for the first time, now, so let me ask this first. How many books are we into now for the Alien series?
Aliens Abroad will make number 16.
Wow. And
Yeah.
each book is just as good as the previous one, so it's not like you're running out of material. So by
Thank you. No, I'm not.
No, you're
not.
not.
We're contracted through book 20.
Yay! And hopefully
Yeah.
there'll be an extension. But by now, the characters, I mean, they are all fully realized, and, the main players, the recurring characters, they're all fully realized, and they speak to you in your head.
Yes. All my characters, for anything I write, speak to me in my head. It's very noisy in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, at times, it's almost like you're taking dictation.
It's definitely, especially the first few books in the Alien series is where that really, really clicked. I'd always heard characters in my head. In fact, the first time in the first thing I was writing, the first time it happened, I was so excited because I knew that was something that authors had happen, where you hear the characters say, that's not how it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, oh my gosh, how did it actually happen, right?
Right.
So that was really good. Kitty, for Touched by an Alien, it was very much like taking dictation. And I do go into that mode of things, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm a firm believer in that you can fix anything in post. So I definitely, I edit as I go along, but I let things write themselves.
Right.
So, and then if it's wrong, I know in the olden days, I could be 10,000 words past where it was wrong and realize, I have to fix something. Now I can figure it out a lot sooner, so I'm not wasting all those time and words. Though sometimes it still happens. You follow a plot bunny along the way, and it doesn't lead you to the right path. But many times it leads you to a better path, so it's worth it to follow them. And I'm an extreme linear writer. I don't outline, and I want to be surprised along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I start with in almost anything, if it's a novel series or a serialized novel, I have a couple of those too, where you're getting installments. The only thing I start with is that whoever my POV character is, especially if it's first person, or whoever I consider my hero or heroine, the only thing I know is that they win. They don't necessarily win everything, but they win. They survive. So I start every book. The only thing I know for sure, Kitty wins. Okay, I don't know how she's going to win. I don't know all the time who she's fighting. Now, book 6, I'm writing book 17, Aliens Like Us, which is the August release right now. And obviously, at 17 books in, I know many things that are happening. And this, like I said, the series builds on itself, and it's happening in real time for the characters. So in Touched by an Alien, Kitty's 27 when that book starts, and in Aliens Abroad, she's 35, because life happens, and she's gone on with that. So, but I make it very clear, how much time has jumped between books, and some books have no time gap.
Mm-hmm.
There is no time gap between Aliens Abroad and Aliens Like Us, and I'm not going to tell you why.
Well, no, I want to have that sense of surprise. So going back to what I asked a couple of bits ago, so you just gave us the basic background. Where did the series end prior to the release of Aliens Abroad?
Oh, Alien Education. Kitty has gone through a tremendous number of life and career changes since running into the folks from Alpha Centauri. And she is now married, and through, there's a kind of like series spoilers, but, it's book 15, 16, 17. You got to get caught up. I'm sorry if I'm ruining something for anybody. But, she's married, she has kids, and her husband has somehow, through no choice of his own, become the President of the United States. And he can because all of his generation were born on Earth, and they're all United States citizens. So there is no, but they're immigrants. No, they're here legally.
Right.
So they're going along, and she's been the head diplomat for their embassy, and now she is somehow the representative of Earth's representative to the Galactic Council. And what what happens I like to do, I have what I call internal threat and external threat books. Because with Alien Tango, which is book 2, I didn't want to do Iron Man 2, which is a big, Iron Man 1, Iron Man has to fight a bigger, badder version of himself. In Iron Man 2, he has to fight more bigger, badder versions of himself. And I enjoyed the movie, but there that are you kidding me factor, I didn't want to do it. It's just like Flash for the first 3 seasons of the show. He's fighting a evil speedster, and it's just like, oh, thank goodness in this season he's not, because it's just, oh my gosh, this again.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that. So first book, Touched by an Alien, is an internal but externally created threat. Book 2 is absolutely an internal threat, because to me there's nothing scarier than human beings and what we can do to each other. So so there's external and internal books, and Alien Education is an internal book. The threats are all on the planet, human-based and everything else. And kids are starting school, and she is facing her worst nemesis yet, which is the president of the PTA. And I just want to mention there is a hockey scene. The big battle at the end happens in a hockey arena.
It's fabulous.
And I have been waiting since book 5 to get this hockey team in to the series, and I've just never had. And literally since book 5, I've been like, then it's going to have this big thing at the hockey game, and I'll call my editor and say, okay, I didn't have room for the team, so we didn't do that. Constantly since book 5, and I'm like, they're in, and that's why you see a kitty with a hockey stick and a hockey jersey on the cover of Alien Education.
Well, I would say that was one of the most entertaining moments in that book.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I loved that. That was so much fun. Plus, music really affects the series. I can't write without it, and it really affects the series in terms of what Kitty's listening to. Right. At the start, Kitty's listening to music in the same way I'm listening to music, which is just to keep herself calm, get inspiration, feel, I can handle this. As the series goes on, you discover she's being given clues to what to do or what's coming by a very powerful entity through music. Mm-hmm. So it becomes a very big deal. It's a very important plot point ultimately, because she's finding out important things. To do that, and I had a fan, and I apologize because I don't remember which one it was who said this, but whoever you are, you were incredibly insightful, and I appreciated it. But she said that as far as she was concerned, these clues just made Kitty more awesome, because she's getting a musical cue on the fly, and she has to figure out what it relates to.
Right.
Is it the title that's telling me what's coming on? Is it the title that doesn't seem relevant, so it's words? Is it the chorus? Is there a line in here?
Is it the beat of the music?
Sometimes it's the beat. Sometimes
exactly.
it's the beat, but yes. So, is this a good fight song, kind of thing? Right. I've got to fight, I've got to run. Is this a song that revs me up? So, this fan felt that it made Kitty more awesome, because she's in the middle of danger, and her music is changing, and she's having to figure out what it means. And there are times she doesn't get it, and then the song will repeat.
Right.
Until she figures out, what the heck am I being told?
Right.
So, but it's fun, and music really matters to me, and it really matters to Kitty. So, write what you know, kind of thing. Of course.
So
yes.
So now you've just told us where we are at in this entire series. So obviously we want readers to buy these books, and I will simply say, do what Gini just said. Start from book 1 and go all the way through. It's one of the best rides you'll ever be on. So for people who are caught up with, obviously you don't want to spoil it, but you can tease us. What can we possibly look forward to in this new book?
What's the back cover
synopsis? Aliens Abroad?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, it's on the back cover, so this isn't a spoiler but Jeff and Kitty are there to christen Earth's first Earth-created, fully manned, fully warp drive capable spaceship.
Nice.
And of course, there's alien help, dramatic alien help involved in this, but they're not supposed to be going. There's a set of astronauts going, and one of the recurring supporting characters is on there, and there's a couple that are supposed to be coming back and all this stuff. And then something happens, and Kitty and about 100 of her nearest, dearest, or Jeff's political cabinet are suddenly in space, and they have no control of the spaceship.
Oh dear.
Oh.
And they are basically, their job is to save the galaxy by going to some very small, obscure, really far out there solar systems, figuring out what's wrong and saving the day.
Interesting. So,
So-
tell me.
I liken it to National Lampoon's Vacation or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It's a road trip. It's a road trip movie.
Yeah.
So the destination matters, but what's happening along the way is all part of it. So it's like Kitty even actually makes the joke somewhere in the book that this is just like being in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, only with less weed and poop jokes.
Yeah. So tell me, when does Kitty become Queen of the Universe? We know it's going there.
Not yet. But I am contracted through book 20 with DAW right now. I would like to get farther, and I've been saying this since pretty much day one. I usually see a few books ahead from whatever I'm writing, so I do know in a general sense what's happening for aliens like us, Alien Rescue, Alien Galaxy, and Alien Reckoning. I know what's coming on those. And for some of the books, I name them what they are, in my head. So like Alien Separation, which was book 11, my nickname for that is Kitty Carter of Mars.
Right.
Book 7, Alien in the House, is my murder mystery. Camp Alien, which is book 13, is my horror, haunted houses kind of thing. And so book 17, favorite. Aliens. So book 16, Aliens Abroad, is the road movie, and book 17, Aliens Like Us, is steampunk. They're going to the steampunk universe.
Oh, cool!
Yay, we're getting a crossover.
Yes, and so let me mention there's 3 anthologies that, if you really want to know what's going on in the steampunk universe and how it created, you need to pick up. The first is Clockwork Universe, Steampunk versus Aliens, and that's from the small press Zombies Need Brains. And that has the first in my Clockwork Alien, and that's the first in my Steampunk Alien shorts. The next one you need to get is Unidentified Funny Objects 4, and then Unidentified Funny Objects 5, because they have the next 2 installments. Number 4 has Support Your Local Alien, and number 5 has The Problem with Pooh. And it's one of those things I also mentioned is I test things out in these short stories. So if things will be familiar to you if you've read them, versus it's just like it won't be, the same old, but you'll go, oh, I know who that is, or oh, I remember this race of people, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So strongly recommend people get those and get them read before Aliens Like Us comes out.
And I would say that one of the short stories, it not only can it take place in alternate universes, but sometimes there are little side stories that take place in the, for lack of a better term, the Prime universe. Because there's a really great side story regarding one character who is going through something, I shall say something traumatic, but since everything's being told from Kitty's point of view, we don't know what he's going through. We just know that he went through it. And then that's what that little side
short story you're talking about, wait, I know which one you're talking about, and we can talk about it a little more clearly. In Alien Separation, Book 11, Chucky, one of the main supporting characters, is going through a lot of horrible things that are being done to him by evil aliens, basically. And he's reacting in ways that because again, like Ben said, it's a first-person POV, so you only see and know what Kitty sees and knows. But if you get also from Zombies Needs Brains, Temporally Out of Order, that has alien time warp in it, and that tells you that story is from Chucky's POV, and it tells you what's going on. So that is a companion. That is a companion to Book 11. Also, I should have said Unidentified Funny Objects. Those come from UFO Press.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can't say enough good things about both of those small presses. Zombie Needs Brains and UFO Press are just really, they put out really quality books, and the editing is just wonderful. So cannot pimp them enough.
No.
Yeah.
So you have, and a thought just occurred to me. So for all of these Alien series, obviously you've been writing from Kitty's point of view. How was it writing from Chucky's point of view, or from another main, a supporting character's point of view in this universe?
I like doing it, actually. It's fun to do. So let's see. So Clockwork Universe is just, that's our new universe. There's one connecting character and poofs that connect that into the series. But Temporally Out of Order, it's Chucky. In Alien Artifacts, Book 10, Universal Alien, is the first time Kitty, we've discovered we're in a multiverse, and Kitty has switched places with another version of herself. And in Alien Artifacts, there's a short story that is now told from the POV of her counterpart in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And you do get the alien epilogue. So you find out what happens to everybody in what we call the Zorro world once the switch has happened back. So that one's fun. In All Hail Our Robot Conquerors, and both of those, Alien Artifacts and All Hail Our Robot Conquerors, are also from Zombies Need Brains. You get a Kittybot's Tale, where you find out what's happening from a robotic version of Kitty, and so on. So there's a variety of cool anthologies you can get and grab that are going to give you other stories. Plus, I will be coming out, and I know I promised everyone that this was going to be out last year, and last year being literally a year in hell for us, it didn't happen. Plus, not only did I move across the country, but my critique partner, who is also my web mistress, moved to Sweden. So we're behind.
Oh, wow.
So we're behind on everything. And what we're behind on, among other things, is the Alien Collection, where I'm gathering all the Alien short stories that have ever been published into one. They're going to be in chronological order, and you're going to get at least 2 never-before-seen stories, plus the 3, Alien on the Runway, Mr. Dash Saves the World, and I can't remember the last. Oh, Alien Pickup. You'll get those 3 in there too, and those are their stuff's out of print, so you can't find them. So lots of Alien shorts coming. But if you want to get caught up, get the anthologies, because honestly, they're great, and all the stories in them are really good.
Right.
I'm in more anthologies than those, but they're all good. And like I said, you can't go wrong with anything from UFO Press or Zombies Needs Brains. But speaking of anthologies, I also have other series, the Necropolis Enforcement Files series, which is my take on the paranormal. The first book in that is The Night Beat. And in The Cackle of Cthulhu, which just came out, which is a collection of cosmic horror with a sense of humor, so it's all funny Cthulhu and other Lovecraftian creatures short stories. I have HP and Me, which is the prequel story for The Night Beat.
Oh,
and
cool.
that just came out from Baen Books. And I also have what am I looking for here? UFO Unidentified Funny Objects 6 should have. It's hard. I've got a lot of anthologies, so I have to remember what's where. The other series I do is the Alexander Outland series, which I write as G.J. Koch. First book in that is Alexander Outland Space Pirate. And in Unidentified Funny Object 6, you have the prequel story for that Alexander Outland Space Jockey. And that's where, for those who have read it, that's where you find out how Nap met Slinky.
Uh-huh.
So, yes. So very excited about that. Tons of things. If you go to my website, on my bibliography page, off of my bookstore page, you can find everything that's out listed.
Yeah, you write under a number of pen names, and you write in various styles, and it's just
all the genres. Yeah.
I mean, that's why if you were to go to Webster's Dictionary and look up the word prolific, it'll have your picture.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I could trust all my editors when I say this. I could be more prolific right now.
At one time, before you released a bunch of stuff recently, I had the claim that I had read everything that you had written. So, but you've released some stuff that was out of print, and some new stuff, and some other stuff, and
just
more
stuff.
There's one you can't. There's one you can't read. You can only listen to. The first in my novel series set in the Old West, which is The Legend of Belladonna. The first book is Natural Born Outlaws. Came out last year from Graphic Audio by me writing as A.E. Stanton. But my name is not on it because they're like, it's too far from what Gini Koch writes. We're not doing that. It's just A.E. Stanton. Just that's how Graphic Audio chose to do it. But they do a wonderful product. And for those people looking for audiobooks, that is out now. So again, it's The Legend of Belladonna, Natural Born Outlaws. It's really good, and that is actually the first thing I ever wrote. I started writing originally, 15 years ago. If you'd asked me what I was going to be known as, I was going to be known as someone who wrote, Challenger to Larry McMurtry. And fortunately, I'd never followed the adage of finish what you start.
Uh-huh.
I did bounce around. But I learned to write on this book, and I named the versions of it like software versions. So it's version 9.2.2.
Oh, dear.
That my agent sold to Graphic Audio. So it bears no resemblance, except for the names of a few characters, to what I started with. But I learned to write on it, and it matters greatly to me, because this is why I write, is because of these characters, because of Belladonna, is why I write. So if you want to see where it all really began, that is where. So and they do a wonderful version that, like I said, it's like a movie in your mind. So they aren't reading it, they're acting it.
Oh,
nice.
Cool. That's nice.
Yeah, that sounds
really
fascinating.
cool. Yeah. Another audiobook that I have is for Alexander Outland's Space Pirate. Wonderful narration. And I guess I can announce this. We finally got the rights back from Tantor for Touched by an Alien, and so I have all the rights back for all of the Alien series for audio. So hopefully I'll have. Yeah, so hopefully this is the first place I'm announcing that, and so hopefully I'll have more news in this space coming somewhere.
Oh,
outstanding. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Now I'm gonna just ask this one last question that I know you've been pestered with for years, ever since you published this one little book.
Mm-hmm.
Any more about Happy Acres?
The Happy Acres Haunted Hotel for Active Seniors,
which is one of the most awesome short stories, or short little novelettes, whatever you want to call it.
It's a novelette, yeah.
I loved it.
It's funny. I wrote it for an anthology that I ended up having to pull the story from the antho. And I loved the story and I loved the characters, and so I'm like, I self-published it. Okay, I'm just going to get it out there. The response to it shocked me. not that people liked it, but that people wanted more.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be just a one-off.
No, I have to say that Maddie, who is the POV character, has been flattered by all the love, and she assures that there will be more. It's just that she understands how very stressed and behind the creator is, and so she's not intruding until I have space.
Oh, thank the maker.
So, so she says she will indeed be coming back because there's always something going on at the Happy Acres Haunted Hotel.
Of course there is.
But she will let me know when it's time, because until then, I'm just too stressed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's understandable, but there are more possible stories down the road.
Yes. The other thing I got asked in Where Anthology, WERE dash. So this is also from Zombie Needs Brains, and they wanted us doing were stories, but it couldn't be werewolves. It had to be other were creatures. So I wrote Missy the Were Pomeranian versus the Masters.
I have to read this.
Mediocre do. Oh, you do. I really enjoyed the characters. It's one of the only, that and Mr. Dash Saves the World, which is, for those who are caught up on the series, that is Lizzie and Siler's origin story.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, so Mr. Dash Saves the World, that is out of print. That will be in the Alien collection. So, but that was written from Lizzie's POV, and she was 11 at the time. So that was my first, as far as I was concerned, successful foray into high MG, middle grade, and low YA young adult. Missy the Were Pomeranian versus the Masters of Mediocre Doom is my second foray. And when my agent read it, she read it and then she didn't say anything. And I was like, wow, you really don't like this, do you? And she goes, no, I'm trying to figure out how to tell you that I want you to make this a novel. No. I'm like, but I could do more short stories. She's like, that's acceptable. So, but Beth, who is the POV character and Missy's owner, like Maddie, understands that the creator is really stressed and really behind. So both of those, they're lurking. They're waiting until I have the free time to do them, or I'm in an anthology where they would work.
And I can
then
imagine,
they'll show up.
I can imagine just now that if we have any psychotherapists who are listening to this episode, they're probably wringing their hands and they're drooling, thinking, "How can I get her on my couch?" Because this is us.
Hell no, the insanity is how I write. It's a controlled form of schizophrenia, and I make it work for me.
I don't think
your mitts off.
I don't think they want to cure you. I just think they want to write textbooks about you.
No, you know what? The thing is that every creative, authors in particular, but it's not just limited to us, every creative is like this. There are voices in your head that are telling you things or describing a scene, or you're seeing something that no one else sees. I think my husband put it really well. It's like there's such a high incidence of mental illness in the arts because we're all seeing things that no one else sees.
Good point.
And we're trying to describe it to you. And in some cases we can, and in some cases we can't. And the ones who can't are the ones who are not successful or who are never found the calling or whatever. So there's a lot of mental illness out there. I embrace mine. I mean, I know I'm cray. It's just I'm cray in the right way.
Right.
So that's what matters. That's
being
what
able
matters.
to channel all that cray energy. I mean, and this is what we've got. Some of the most amazing books. And I would also tell people, just don't necessarily judge the covers, especially when it comes to the Alien Kitty Cat series. Don't judge the covers and just think this is some kind of Harlequin romance kind of thing. I mean,
right.
There is a lot of amazing substance to these books. That's why I remember when Keith and I started reading them, you were already well into like book 5 or book 6, and it's like, oh, we got a lot of catching up to do. We're in for a fun time because these are like some of the best reads I've ever had.
And now
honestly, I think I was already in book 8 when you guys started reading it.
It might have been. It might have been.
I don't remember.
So
anyway.
I don't remember either for sure, but that's kind of what I think. I was well in when you guys started reading.
It's very possible, but it made for the greatest ride. So for
thank
anybody,
you.
for people who want to know more about you, any things that we weren't able to share on this interview or in past interviews, or if they want to learn more about your books, social media, websites, anything on the intertubes that people might be able to go to find out more about what you've done and what you are in the process of doing.
Okay, yes. Well, my website, www.ginikoch, GINIKOCH.com. I'm on Facebook, just as me, and I'm on Facebook, my fan page, Hairspray and Rock and Roll. I'm also on Twitter, Gini_Koch, Gini, again, _KOCH. There's another Gini Koch out there. She's German, and she joined both Twitter and Facebook after I'd already been on, and I was really worried because, same name, we like a lot of the same things.
Well, that's helpful.
So you could easily mistake her for me, and it's always nerve-wracking when that happens because you don't know what that person's going to be like. Are they going to be horrible to a fan? Are they going to, ignore them, and then someone thinks I'm doing that? Well, she is awesome. She is so much fun. We call each other, our twins because we have the same name, and she is so much fun. Like I said, she likes all the things I like. So if you accidentally get her instead of me, she will direct you to the right place versus not. So she's wonderful. I'm also on Pinterest, and Pinterest is great. A horrible time suck, so I don't update a lot. But when I do, there's still a lot up there. And you can see who I envision for the characters. I have a See the Characters page, and then I have individual pages for covers, and Hollywood stars I could see playing the characters. Usually what happens is, you put somebody up, and then they basically age out of the role. So I try to find the pictures of them when they're the right age for the characters. But yeah, so
Henry
if you want to see,
Henry Cavill.
Yes, that was my original choice for Martini was Chris Hemsworth, and or Dwayne Johnson, but The Rock just doesn't have the hair, and Jeff has great hair, but he has Jeff's smile for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Hemsworth has the body, the hair, and the look, but he's blonde and blue-eyed, and Jeff has dark hair and dark eyes. Well, light brown eyes. And then one of my friends and fellow authors, Kara Cerrone, said, look, I don't even know why you have not considered this, and sent me some pictures of Henry Cavill without a shirt on. And I'm like, oh, yes, okay, I can absolutely see him as Martini. So, and he can also do comedy. So, so that's kind of, but you can see all the pictures of who I see in my mind, what these characters are the closest they look like. And most of them aren't exact, except for James Reeder. As far as I'm concerned, I had created Reeder before I'd ever seen Matt Bomer in anything. And then I saw Matt Bomer in White Collar and went, oh my God, that's Reeder. Literally 100%. In my viewpoint, Matt Bomer was born to play Reeder. So, and there are other characters that are really, really close. So I think Pinterest is fun.
So tell us where can people find your books, and who carries your books?
Barnes & Noble carries my books. In Phoenix, The Poison Pen carries my book. San Diego, Mysterious Galaxy. Oh, hang on. I know I'm going to mess this other in Virginia. This wonderful little bookstore, and if only I could, where would they be? Where would they be? Where did I put them? They're on somewhere. Bob's Beach Books up in Oregon, and Dog-Eared Pages in Phoenix also has me, and I'm just kicking myself. I can't remember the other. There's a great little independent bookstore in Richmond, Virginia, very near the convention center, and I apologize profusely for blanking on their name, but they're awesome, and they have my books too.
And they
And also online.
Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, CreateSpace, Smashwords. You can get all my self-published stuff you can get anywhere. Ebooks, and some of these bookstores carry my self-published books as well. And then on anything that's traditionally published, most of that is going to be in Barnes & Noble and other bookstores. So I'm pretty findable.
Yeah. So this has been a real treat for us.
Well, always.
We thank you as always.
Always.
I love talking to you guys. I love coming on this podcast. Love talking to you guys.
Oh, we love it every time you're on the show. There's always something new to talk about in terms of this wonderful work that you create.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you for being on the show this time, Gini Koch.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, this is Gini Koch, author of the Alien Katherine Kitty Katt series from DAW Books, part of Penguin Random House, and you're listening to Two Gay Geeks.
And here are a few selected birthdays for February 5th through February 11th, 2018. February 5th, H.R. Geiger.
Wow, rather a visionary and a very demented soul.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we wouldn't have if
True.
his artwork hadn't been used and abused.
Well, we wouldn't have, we might have the recording of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Brain Salad Surgery, but holy moly, that cover, which is considered a classic these days, we wouldn't have that. His design for Alien, the first film?
Yep.
Ooh, disturbing.
His designs for Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah, the things that he was coming with.
A lot of stuff came from that. Oh my gosh.
Stuff in Jodorowsky's Dune is just, it's almost perverse.
Yep, it's interesting. And a lot of things sprouted out of that artwork that he did into other realms,
absolutely.
Other films and whatnot. Anyway, also on February 5th, Michael Sheen.
Oh, we just got to see him in Tron Legacy.
We watched it again.
Again.
Henry Hank Aaron, famous baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And John Carradine.
Okay, I think we need to watch maybe House of Frankenstein again because he stars as Dracula now.
Exactula.
That's good.
That was
Where did that come from?
My Freudian slip was showing. February 6th, Francois Truffaut, famed director.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie Cole, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Aaron Burr,
Aaron Burr.
Bob Marley, Babe Ruth, another famed
baseball
player, and Thurl Ravenscroft, who was the voice
of Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger, among other things.
Yeah.
So lots of Disney stuff. And friends of ours, Christian Hodko and Lou DeLucy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
February 7th, Larry Buster Crabbe.
Okay, so maybe we have to watch like the original Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers.
Yeah. And Charles Dickens. On February 8th, John Williams. I feel like I want to put Sir John Williams in front of that, but
even
he's
though
not an English citizen.
No, he's not Brit, so you can't give him that. You might be able to give him like an OBE at the end or something like that.
Yeah, but all the music, oh my God, all the music that he's written way back into the Johnny Williams days in the 1960s.
He's not stopping. I mean,
I know, he's still going, and he's almost 90.
I know, he's going to be, oh my word.
80-something.
He's going to be doing the new, well, I think he's doing the Han Solo film.
Oh my Lord.
As well as the final of this current Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
And possibly even the new Indiana Jones movie.
Who knows? Who knows? It's amazing the work that he has turned out. Also on February 8th, Jules Verne.
What's he like?
Do you know him?
Yeah. What's he like?
February 9th, Tom Hiddleston, the real Loki. Yeah. And Brian Greene, the scientist who
string theory.
Wrote the book on the Elegant Universe and also the miniseries Elegant Universe, which was incredible. We watched it periodically.
Yeah.
Really a lot of fun. The book is real hard to get through.
Well,
when you get into about past the first half, and then it's Wow.
But then the miniseries from PBS does sort of the same thing. I mean, at first you're cruising along really fine. Then you get to that last segment, and then it's like, oh, maybe I need to take LSD in order to really get this.
Exactly. Also on February 9th, Alban Berg, who wrote Lulu, as well as Wojciech and a couple of other things. February 9th, also Carmen Miranda, who was famous for the fruit on her head. Yes. Also friends of ours, Jasmine Durand and Ed McAllister. February 10th, Roberta Flack and Leontine Price, two women of color that just incredible music in totally different genres.
Totally different genres. And the amazing thing about Leontine is that
she's still going.
She's still alive. She's still kicking. I mean, there's that new documentary about the Metropolitan Opera and the new Opera House.
Yeah.
And there's just one little brief moment where she sings, for the interview, she just sings this one little passage. And for someone of her age to be able to sing
She's
those
90.
upper notes, I know. I wanted to cry when I saw that little bit. I was amazed.
I know. It's unbelievable. Also on February 10th, Lon Chaney Jr. and Mr. Jerry Goldsmith.
Another amazing composer.
Incredible composer.
I'm just saddened that
music.
that he's gone.
Yeah. February 11th, Paul Bocuse, who is he was the inspiration for Monsieur Paul at Disney World, as well as, I mean, he's a famous French chef. He just died.
I was going to say, is he the one who just passed away?
Yeah, just a week or so ago, short of his 92nd birthday.
Wow.
Also, Tina Louise
of Gilligan's Island
and Leslie Nielsen,
who wishes he were part of Gilligan's Island. No, I'm just joking.
And Ava Gabor, who was adjacent to Gilligan's Island.
Adjacent to Gilligan's Island, yeah, by about several thousand miles.
And Mr. Thomas Edison, famed scientist and inventor and etc. So that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to Chuck and Craig and occasionally us over at Technorama. Technorama Podcast. And now it's time for a little bit more of that feedback.
That's right.
That we so love to give.
And this could have turned into a feedback-a-palooza, but I chose to edit it down a bit. So it all comes, well, not all of it, but some of it comes from a DJ named Keith Lane. Some of it comes from our last episode 154. We gave a birthday shout out to dear good friend Lucas Hines, and he says, can't wait to listen to it when I get home. Okay, Lucas, give us your critique. I'd like to know what you thought of the episode. And then the epic Arkle himself.
Epic Arkle.
Epic Arkle.
Arkle Epic. Whose birthday was just the other day.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, he gives us a fun fact because at some point we mentioned Anton Chekhov. And he says, fun fact, not one, but two of Anton Chekhov's short stories were the inspiration for the screenplay for my favorite movie, 1998's Living Out Loud, specifically the stories The Kiss and Misery. Okay, I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he goes on by saying, regarding my comments about internet reviewers, such as some with a jerk.
Some jerk with a camera.
I'm sorry. Boy. That's what I get for reading ahead. I create my own digest version. Yes, it's some jerk.
Some jerk.
Some with a jerk. I kind of like that one, though. I think we need to trademark that one. Some jerk with a camera. Yes, that is the name of the show. He continues, it occurs to me a couple of good interviews worth trying to get this year, if at all possible, are Linkara host of the comic review shop Atop the Fourth Wall, and Chuck Sonnenberg, a.k.a. SF Debris, the writer/narrator of those videos about Star Wars I shared with you. And both Atop the Fourth Wall and SF Debris are celebrating their 10th anniversaries this year.
Yay.
Now, I'm just going to, I paraphrased a lot of stuff, or not, I just condensed it. Arkell makes references to Diamanda Hagen of Hagen's Reviews, Nash from Radio Dead Hair, Musical Chair, and Here There Be Dragons. So then he concludes with, honestly, I could probably just toss up my entire YouTube subscription list here for ideas of internet reviewers to talk to.
We're not going to say
No.
He has quite a few.
He has quite a few that he lists.
You can go and look at the
and then
comment on the YouTube
on our YouTube channel for episode
More.
154. But then he does close it off by saying, and that's when I just realized, I can remember off the top of my head, I just realized I'm at that point where I watch more shows about fiction than I do actual fiction now. Not sure what that says about me.
Yeah.
So, moving right along, lastly, a couple of weeks ago, our good contributor, Rhonda, she wrote a review for the latest Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron film, The Greatest Showman, and Tony C. left a comment on our website by saying, this movie had my attention from start to finish. Amazingly entertaining and no trash scenes. Purchased the soundtrack and played over and over. Man crush, Zac Efron.
Yeah, and that's it for the
feedback for this week.
This time. So if you want to leave some feedback or you want to comment on our episodes or any of our articles, you can do that on our Facebook page. You can do that at tggeeks.com. You can do it, as Arkell does, on our YouTube episodes or on Twitter or any place else that you can find us. You can do that. You can also call us on our listener feedback line at 469-TG-GEEKS. That's 469-844-3357. And please play nice.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Okay, we got an interesting little talking point here because a news item came to my attention that just frosted me to no end.
It's ridiculous.
This is really absurd.
And if you're one of these people,
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. I have no words. Apparently,
with the big push that Star Wars The Last Jedi got through Rotten Tomatoes, there are now a group of DC fans who are out to sabotage Black Panther's Rotten Tomatoes audience score purely in an effort to diminish the film's success. I mean, we've been waiting.
And simply because, and the article that I read about this, it may be the same one that you read, but simply because the critics didn't like Dawn of Justice or Justice League.
I know. Now we're getting.
Hello.
Now we are really.
They feel that the studios bought them off, or the opposite studios bought them off.
I don't know. All I know is that this is one of the most absurd things that I've ever read about this attempt to. I mean, yeah, okay, I heard about the big push to get such a really positive rating on the last on the Last Jedi. So what? How does this affect you? How does this affect me? Rotten Tomatoes is merely a website by which we can kind of sort of gauge. I mean, okay, so if it's skewed because of a heavy push one way or the other, so what? And to be honest, I mean, let's be real. How many people actually look to Rotten Tomatoes anyway as their guide as to whether or not a film is good or not?
I mean, I look at some things and I think, oh my gosh, the critics gave it a 95, and I thought the film was 55. Oh,
well, I will admit to
then
disappointment.
I look at the audience and it's the other way, and it's like, oh well, maybe I agree with the audience, or maybe I agree with the critics sometimes.
And the only way you're going to know is to just see it for yourself.
Yeah.
And
I don't look at it and say, oh, I'm not going to go see that movie.
No, and I don't look to Rotten Tomatoes as the end-all, be-all of movie analysis. Now, admittedly, during Dawn of Justice, yes, there were some early critic reviews. I didn't refer to Rotten Tomatoes for it, but there were some very early critical reviews that really gave that movie some positive push, and I ended up being disappointed about it. On the other hand, I saw some of the Rotten Tomatoes percentage ratings for the Justice League movie, but was that going to stop me from seeing it? No. In fact, while their rating was a little bit on the low side, I rather liked the movie. In fact, I liked the movie a lot. So for someone to come, or for any group of people to totally harp or just completely, put all their eggs in that Rotten Tomatoes basket seems completely, utterly ridiculous for me, especially when you consider what the subject matter is.
Yep.
I mean, Wonder Woman had massive societal impact for what it did for women.
But
it was DC.
It was DC, and
But we
it's
need
the
to look
DC
past
fans
that.
that are trying to do this. That's the key. It's the DC fans that are trying to ruin a Marvel movie.
We need to get past that.
I mean,
seriously,
it's like,
that is beyond petty.
Oh, please.
I like what Arkell said some time back about the whole Marvel versus DC thing. He just wants a good superhero movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Neither do I.
I mean, I understand your devotion and your desire to have, you have a preferred fandom or the preferred universe that you want to live in, whether it's DC or Marvel.
Yeah, but don't you want to see just a good movie, period?
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. I mean, I loved Wonder Woman.
I'm not either one.
Right.
Because you
didn't grow up with it.
I didn't grow up with comic books. I mean,
right.
It's not my thing.
And I'm admittedly a DC Comics fan, and I admit again I lean more towards the Marvel movies because they've had a better track run. But that doesn't mean I don't go see the DC films. I mean, I own several of them, so that's got to say something. So to completely just harp on this, and the other part that really bothers me is that this is a seriously huge cultural breakout film, Black Panther.
Yeah.
This could do for the African American population what Wonder Woman did for the women.
Yeah. Well,
when it came out.
I'm going to keep the politics out of it because, they haven't said anything about Wonder Woman, and they're trying to trash the Black Panther film. Enough said.
Enough said. I just think it's a really ridiculous thing. Shouldn't we all be we're fans.
Yeah.
We're all fans. Why do we have to, this is the underbelly of fandom that unfortunately does exist.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes is not very happy about it, and they're going to be watching.
Are they going to be watching the demographics and things like that? Oh,
yep.
Good.
And I find it hard to believe that this thing would succeed to begin with, because in order to sabotage the audience level on Rotten Tomatoes, you literally have to sign up for an account, and you have to post a review. You have to. You can't just go and vote.
No,
it's not a go vote thing. It's you have to actually put something of substance in there before you can say yes, no, maybe, or whatnot.
So this entire effort on their part may just be useless.
I think Anyway.
Well, for what it's worth, I think picking on Black Panther is a really bad idea, because this could be just such a really positive affirmation for the African American community. I'm excited about it because I think it just simply looks great.
It would be an affirmation.
Right. Isn't it right? Yeah, that's exactly right. Anyway, I'm kind of excited about it, and I will say that one of our writers, Andrea Richoff, she will be catching a sneak preview of Black Panther pretty soon. So we're having a review.
Yep.
Pretty soon. We're excited.
We might have 2. We might have 3. You never know.
Well, we'll be
Depends
catching
on
it.
What we get.
Hopefully, we will be seeing it maybe Thursday night. If not Thursday night, we'll see it Friday.
Yep.
And at which point we can then, I may very well choose to write a review if I like the movie that much.
Yep.
And I suspect that I will. But in terms of this subject, hey, guys, all of you out there listening, what are your thoughts about this? I'd like to know, is this a smart thing? I mean, is there some aspect to this that neither of us, Keith and I are old curmudgeons. We're in our late 50s. So are we missing something?
I know Brian will have something to say about it.
Well, hey, Brian, we
let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Anybody out there, not just Brian, but
Absolutely.
anybody else out there, if you've got an opinion on this, please share it with us. I'd like to know what you think about this.
Yep. And as always, we have follow-up items. Check our calendar on the website. If you have a birthday or a con or a film festival or whatnot, send us a note. We'll put it out there on the calendar. Phoenix Film Festival, April 5th through the 15th, 2018, at the Herkins Scottsdale 101.
We'll be there.
Over 250 films and 25,000 attendees over 11 days. We will be there, and we are sponsors this year. And Phoenix Comic Fest takes place at the Convention Center on May 24th through the 27th. Arizona Opera presents The Barber of Seville, or Il Barbiere di Sevilla.
Oh, very good.
Gioacchino Rossini. It's his comic masterpiece. Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. That's the
very good. That's Figaro's famous aria.
Yes. At the very beginning of the opera, there's a lot of great music.
Oh,
in it.
and it's funny.
It's hilarious. Check it out. It's playing
How's
in
it again?
Tucson. Hilarious.
Okay, I just want to be sure about that.
Playing in Tucson March 3rd and 4th, and in Phoenix March 9th through the 11th. Tickets are still available at azopera.org. Check out the third edition of Podcasting for Dummies, written by T. Morris and Chuck Tomasi. We heard from Chuck earlier. Go check it out at podcastingfordummies.com. We are huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or other. Please consider supporting independent creators that you run across.
That's right. A special shout out to, first, Doctor Who Talking Who and The Human Arkle. They are both on Twitter. Doctor Who Talking Who can be found at Talking Who. The Human Arkle can be found at Arkle. They both have paperlies that they publish daily, or roughly anywhere from daily to every other day. And the Doctor Who Talking Who's paperly is Doctor Who Fancast Guide. The Human Arkles is the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News, and both of those republish our content on a fairly regular basis. So we should give them a shout out. And as always, a special shout out to Arkle's presence on Tumblr as he puts out the incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes, even if he's posting rubbish stuff just to see if I read it. And lastly,
it's still your turn.
I know, I have to clear my throat. And lastly, a special shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes there on their page. It's a fantastic group. I really love it. I love the content, and a lot of the wallpaper that I have on my iPhone and iPad I get from there. And you can check out that group by going to facebook.com/group/thegaygeek. And as always, our most heartfelt thanks to their high moderator, Jeremiah Reeves, for saying, "Come, you are welcome. Share your stuff here."
Thank you, Jeremiah. And we want to remind you to occasionally click on our Amazon ads. You can find them at the bottom of each article and on the right side of all of our pages. Check them out, and it helps. And lastly, check us out on iHeartRadio. Please rate us and review us on iTunes and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be adding a few more things here soon, so check us out. Next time, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
You never know. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We will have several links on the page of things that we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.